Welcome to Daily Tax Savings. This is Tony Novak here to share a few points on saving taxes and staying out of tax trouble. And today's topic is millennials not filing tax returns. So here we are coming up to April 15th, only a short time away, and IRS insiders can do a pretty good job of forecasting what the end results will be based on the tax returns that have already been filed and counted. And based on that information, a number of sources have said that uh, the number of tax returns filed will be less, and specifically that almost 1 in 5 millennials, the number I saw was 17% of millennials, are skipping tax filing altogether. And that's an odd thing because, and the best way I guess I can explain it is to just talk about a recent story I was working on the last couple of days, and even this morning. I was working on a very simple tax return for a tech finance guy. Came to the U.S. To work for a fintech company, and is not a citizen, permanent resident, but not a citizen, and makes about $500,000, and his only income is a W-2 and a few bank interest statements. Very, very simple tax return, but he's so busy working, being overworked, that he did not file his tax returns for multiple years. Now, what happened was, first of all, the IRS, he had his salary wage tax withheld properly, probably overpaid his taxes. So the IRS hasn't even caught up yet. But the states, because he worked in multiple states and had different state addresses, the states are catching up with him and sending him bills that total over $10,000 so far from what I've seen, and I'm sure there's more on the way. The states are simply assessing tax, interest, and penalties for not filing the tax return, even though, as far as I can tell, all of the tax was withheld and paid. Maybe it wasn't allocated to the states properly. We didn't get into that. But the point is, he just got too busy and didn't do it. What would have been the answer? Obviously, hire somebody competent to do that state allocation, do it. He didn't do that, but that's why I'm involved later, trying to now address the penalties and the interest, which is more complicated and more costly. So I think my point is that millennials, that is, millennial being someone that's under 45, 30 to 45, early stage career, are usually least likely to get away with not filing a tax return. That's because your income tends to come from W-2s, 1099s, reported things that are tracked by computer. Doesn't take a single IRS agent. Doesn't matter whether IRS offices are closed down, and it doesn't matter what rumors are on television about what's happening with IRS. That is a big concern, but the fact is that the automated collection process has not changed, and in fact has improved, integrated AR resources. And the fact is that those kinds of non-filings are extremely likely to get caught. And what's the effect on you? Whether you file now, file later, what's the big deal if you've already paid your tax? The emotional stress that I'm seeing, and particularly in this case, this guy's not a citizen, so he could get his citizenship application just rejected if he hasn't filed all of the appropriate returns. So there's a pretty serious consequence. So, and couples, I see couples arguing or getting about unfiled tax returns or tax debt that's looming. It can really cause emotional stress. And so I would suggest that that's just not a smart strategy. It's going to wind up costing you significantly more stress. And even if you are successful in getting rid of the penalties, you won't get rid of the interest. You might get rid of the penalties, but you really can't do that very well yourself. You pretty much almost have to hire somebody that can negotiate those away and knows how to do it properly without digging the hole any deeper. Too many people who said on the show try to solve tax debt problems and dig the hole deeper themselves. It's not a good idea when you get one of those letters to try to solve it yourself. So I would say if you're a millennial that hasn't filed your tax return, just it's not that hard. It's not that complicated. In most cases, it's going to be more complicated and more costly to do it later. And it's not likely if you're banking on Congress getting rid of the IRS. That's a long shot bet at best. Would love to hear your thoughts, feedbacks, or comments on this topic. Or if you want to talk with me one-on-one, that's easy also. Find me at taxproblems.cpa. And I'll be back tomorrow with another